Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to God Hears Your Thoughts. Today's video is going to be about the dangers of AI. Part 1, this is how it all started. So, this is very much so a huge timeline when it comes to technology, when it comes to how it all came about. I was having a conversation with my sister the other day, and we were talking about when we were young, we were kind of stuck in between that generation where we didn't have much technology at all. The closest thing we had was like a beeper. And then our world sort of changed, right? But we were part of that kind of generation that was playing outside, and we got our hands dirty. We were very competitive, and we played soccer and volleyball and like tug of war. Like, we played all of these different games, and it was normal. It was actually fun. There was something very interesting about doing that. It didn't feel, any different until we ended up getting different. But my sister's a little bit older than I, and not by much. She's 31 and I'm 28. But we sort of bond over this because we're like, man, you remember the days where before technology even existed, we were just outside, and the kids nowadays, they just don't know that, right? And then all of a sudden we get the razor. And oh man, the razor. I remember my mom had a pink razor and I used it all the time. But it was like the era of, okay, things are starting to change. When cell phones became a thing, our lives changed. I mean, I remember having a box computer, and then suddenly it went from box to computer to touchscreen. And then it went from like the BlackBerry, the Razors, the kind of slide up phones where you use the keyboards and you had to press the keyboard like 20 times to do one letter. I remember that, right? Then from that, it was the first ever touchscreen phone, and then the first iPhone. Our lives quite literally collectively in that generation changed, and we didn't even realize it. Now you can have a map on your phone and understand how that can be very convenient, to a lot of people. You can pull up a map. But all we knew back then were the physical printout copy maps. Like, you had to get around town with a physical map. And it was such an amazing time, but also when I think back at it, it was actually sad too, because I feel a piece of our childhood all collectively just died. Because now, little did we know how much technology was going to play into the future, how much it was going to occupy our time, occupy this generation's children's time. Now everyone is just kind of glued on their phones. No one really socializes anymore. Everything is kind of just like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat and, YouTube. And there's instances where there's people in their homes eating dinner and every single person is on their phone. I mean, even out in restaurants, everything is a trend. Everything has to be recorded. Everything is, all right, well, this is technology. And growing up, yes, that is basically what I did as well. I was a part of the trends. I was on Instagram taking pictures and making videos, and the whole point is we were desensitized. And the way they desensitize is they put the beast in front of us so much to where eventually you're not even scared of it anymore. And that's what happened with technology. Is we knew, especially the older generation at the time, knew that technology was going to become very dangerous, but they put it in such a good light. Oh, look, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And eventually you just don't become afraid of it anymore. And next thing you know, you're on TikTok scrolling for 12 hours a day instead of actually being productive, instead of actually doing something that is going to, cause you to grow. Instead, it's just like, okay, well, if we put the scary monster in front of them enough on the posters, on the billboards, on the TV, they won't be scared anymore. Or maybe if we create a program called Hey Alexa, years in advance before artificial intelligence comes out like a big beast that it is, it'll lessen, the fear in that it actually is. And maybe if we create a Hey Siri, they can start to interact with these robots and this artificial intelligence, and they won't even think about it. So when AI actually comes out, they'll be so used to it because they're always calling out for Siri. And they're always calling out for Google to do things for them instead of picking up their phone and Googling it themselves. They're always calling Alexa to play the music instead of doing it themselves. They'll do great, right? And that is how they desensitize us. That is how they desensitize us. That's why to a lot of people, it's like, oh, well, I love technology. What would life be without technology? And it's like, well, we knew life before technology. I mean, yes, I cannot deny that there's some things about technology that is a little bit more convenient, but at what cost? At what did we lose? And I think it was our attention span, to now be okay with having robots around, right? Our attention span has gone extremely low. Children are in school failing. They're not doing well. They're glued to their devices. And we can't say, oh, well, we didn't see it coming, because we kind of did. The only thing is that they kind of made us used to it. Again, they're like, oh, hey, robot versus human. No, robot with humans. Again, it goes back to them slowly introducing it, to our phones, and slowly introducing you to the beast, to the monster, until that same thing starts to become exactly what's going to destroy you. You're not scared of it anymore. Not because, oh, well, I conquered this on my own. It's because they made you. They gave you no choice. Then now they start to put the robots in the restaurants. And now they basically are telling us, like, hey, these robots, by the way, are probably going to take your jobs. Not to fearmonger anyone. But no, since no one wants to work, AI will do it better. Robots will do it better. We are going to create a world where this is normalized, where we're going to have scanning systems where you can now pay with your hand, and no workers are going to be there. We're just basically going to do a whole bunch of pay cuts. And that's normal. And they start slow. I mean, this was one of the first robots they put out in a chain restaurant, Chili's, I believe it was. And everyone was just kind of like accepted it, like, oh, all right, this is kind of odd. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's like, oh, well, it's odd now, but get used to it. And next thing you know, you have more robots at each restaurant that you go to, replacing humans, replacing jobs, replacing human social interactions. And also, robots are making food. Robots are cooking it up in the kitchen, so there's not a lot of chefs. See, to a lot of people, this is just kind of like whatever. But understand that this can become so dangerous, and is so dangerous. In another video, because this is going to be broken down into parts, I want to talk about those issues and why that's dangerous. See, in the introduction of AI, they introduced it as, oh, it's just technology that is very, very advanced, right? It is intelligent. and it'll make our lives easier. And it's the perfect pitch for someone who, I hate to say it, but in these generations are lazy. They don't want to do a lot of the work that, and I'm not saying, oh, we need to go slave away, corporate slaves. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, when I say do the work, I mean creative work. Now you can insert a passage on an AI system and it'll just write an entire school essay for you. And that is sad, but that's the way they pitched it. So now our creativity goes away. And the person in charge of this beast, the person in charge of this AI is Elon Musk. And ooh, do I have a lot to say about Elon Musk. I have a lot to say about Elon Musk because he is control opposition. He says a lot of, we need to control this AI thing. But then he continues to feed the AI thing. It's like saying, it's like having a crocodile in your backyard and saying, no, 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 no. We need to get rid of that crocodile. But then every Tuesday you give it like 5 pounds of meat, right? You know the dangers of it, but you continue to feed it. He has an agenda. This man is very calculated. He knows exactly what he's doing. This is the same man that says that AI could easily kill us. He's supporting the Baphomet. He has the, inverted cross. What is his agenda? AI is far more dangerous than nukes. AI is taking over. It's controlled opposition. It has to be. There's just no other explanation. The question is, what does the future hold?